Some watercolor paper, and you're going to use some painter's tape. Painter's tape is great because it goes on easy and comes off easy. It does not damage the paper. And it seems relatively waterproof with my experience that I've had so far. What I usually do with paper this large, this is 11 by 15, what I do is, this is about an inch wide, I would say, so I put it right to the edge and smooth it down, and that gives me a really nice white border. It makes everything look a lot more professional. So when children are painting, or even when you're painting, you can get as crazy and as messy as you want and not worry about it, because at the end you're gonna have a beautiful white border, perfect for framing or perfect for just displaying as is. The tape also, in addition to giving a really nice border, it holds the paper down flat to your surface. So the watercolors that we're using, they're diluted with extra water, and as we all know, that can cause paper to ripple and crumple and get damaged. So this kind of gives it a better foundation and prevents as much damage done as possible. So we got our paper, we have our watercolors all ready. You can use a turkey baster and eyedropper. We are using a safety first recycled medicine dropper, which is great because it actually comes out, you can clean it really well. It's perfect. Evie loves it. So we have our paper tape down. We have our watercolors all ready to go. We added some extra water to dilute them a little bit because these colors are very strong. Got our dropper. And we have our sea salt. Evie loves to sprinkle that on. And just in case your child decides to take it from an eyedropper and they want to paint a certain picture, I like to keep some paintbrushes and water on hand just in case she changes her mind. Paper towel or rags, have them nearby. This can get very messy, and that's okay. That is the best part of this project. And the most important part of all is the kit! Ah! What are you gonna paint? What are you gonna paint? I see food in your mouth. And when there's too much liquid on the paper and too much watercolors and it's creating a lot of puddles, and you know it's not going to dry very well. So what we like to do is we take a little bit of paper towel and we dab it up a little bit. But I usually let that choice be up to Evie if she wants to dab it or not. These watercolors, even though they are non-toxic, they actually stain your hands pretty bad. So if you have any family functions or family photos coming up, try to avoid using these watercolors. You can use tempera paint and dilute it with some water. You can use non-toxic acrylic paints. Just dilute whatever paints that you have on hand with some water and it will work. Just make sure that you use watercolor paper. What Evie is using right now is the salt, and the thicker the salt, the better the effect. And when you add it to the paper, as you can see here, the salt actually starts to absorb the liquid. When there's a lot of liquid, it doesn't tend to do too much, but when there's a thin layer, it absorbs it and it leaves really neat patterns and marks. It's a really fun effect, and Evie seems to enjoy using it. You call them sprinkles.
Yeah, sprinkles.
Sometimes you like to pretend you're cooking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the child is trying to create a certain picture or a purpose. Sometimes it's just about the experience. So for Evie, while sometimes she does draw specific pictures, a lot of the time it's just testing out different techniques and methods, and that is the best part of the learning process for her, is the hands-on activity. Another great thing about this is it's not just for kids. This is actually something I do with my own art. When I'm in a creative rut and I can't really think or plan, or I just feel stuck, I'll do a project like this where it forces me into an abstract way of thinking, where I have to just accept what happens and enjoy the process itself, which is something that kids are so able to do so easily, and it's a great lesson for us as adults to remember. Look at that cool bubble. up. That's so neat. When Evie dabs up the puddles of color, you can actually see the different colors that she had mixed. So here you can't really tell what color it is. It just looks black or brown or very dark blue. But when she dabs it up, you can see the colors that she had mixed and used to create these puddles. So even though it seems like she's just adding more color and it's not going to do anything, it's creating layers of color. And that's what's so great about this, is it's such a surprise. You don't know what's waiting for you underneath as she mixes all these colors. At the very end, when we take off some of the liquid, you're going to see all these colors that she had mixed and layered